there was just everybody else. He left Red Ball 3 behind to go and focus on playing Red Ball 2, a game that he would quickly get the world record in and eventually become the undisputed champion of. However, it was during this time that a runner who had just barely missed out on getting the record back in June started making a run up the leaderboards. On October 5th, Jaroio claimed a 516.167, good enough to place him at second place on the leaderboard. The most important thing to note about this run is that he used a new Sphinx skip method where you do a small jump off the Sphinx's face to get a jump off the top of its head, and then jump off its back to cross the spike pit. This strategy, aptly named the butt strat, was derived from the TAS of the game, and it could save around a second over the typical pause jump method. Jaroio kept gunning for the record, and on November 15th, he finally put together a 513.167 without needing IL-17. He got the corner boost in level 5, and he saved over half a second in level 8 by using a corner jump to go directly to the star platform instead of having to jump off the platform to the side. However, the biggest save came when he hit the instant corner jump in level 15, completing the level almost 3 seconds faster than Xbox did. The description simply read, 3.5 seconds to go. Indeed, Jar was gunning to be the first to get a sub 510, and he had all the tools necessary to make it a reality. His next PB didn't come until January 4th, 2022, when he got onto a run that had a very similar start to his 513, aside from needing to pause jump on the bottom cart in level 7. Neck and neck going into level 13, he pulled a bit ahead after getting a lucky corner jump off of the first plank, something which hadn't happened in a world record since my 538.7 around 2 years prior. He got the instant corner jump in 15 and saved a second in 16 by not messing up the first pause jump. He entered level 17 on OX pace, but he sadly didn't get the IL strat. He lost a bit of time in each of the last 3 levels and finished with a 512.467. On February 10th, he ended up getting a new record by just 5 frames with a roller coaster of a run. He saved some time in 6 by jumping straight from the box to the slope, which causes Red Ball to have more velocity in the final portion of the level. He pause jumped off of the top cart in level 7, and then reset after collecting the checkpoint to recenter the camera. This strategy, coined 7-7, was found by Xbox and Jaroio and saves around a second. After fortunately having the rock stop on the pocket in the pyramid, he got a sub 240 exit out of level 10 for the first time in a world record. Unfortunately, his 3-second lead was completely wiped away from a missed pause jump in level 12 and a missed corner jump in level 13. He got the instant corner jump in 15, couldn't get IL-17, saved the lever flip with the helicopter's tail, and recovered the rest of the deficit with a better jump spot in level 19 and boss fight. The errors in levels 12 and 13 were the difference between this run being a 508 and it being just a 5-frame improvement. With Jaroio on the footsteps of a sub 510, Xbox knew that he had to return if he wanted to have a chance at being the first. On February 18th, he got a run with the pause jump strategy in level 7 and ended up mirroring Jaroio's 239 exit out of level 10. However, by not committing the same mistakes that Jar did in levels 12 and 13, Xbox was on the easiest OX pace of his life going into level 15. He thought he had enough speed to land squarely on the cart, but he just barely landed on the left corner, and he ended up blundering 2.5 seconds compared to an instant corner jump. Without IL-17, his OX prospects were toast. He finished things out well, thanks in part to a more consistent helicopter setup found by Yak27, and he claimed a new record of 511.567. However, for Xbox, this was no cause for celebration. He instantly exited the ending cutscene and started his next attempt. At this point, both of these runners had been on 5.0x pace into late game on several occasions, and both of these runners had experienced the distinct pain of losing a run that was easily milestone bound to some stupid mistake caused by nerfs. It felt like it could happen at any moment, but at the same time, there was no telling how long it would actually take. To achieve this milestone, there was almost no room for error. Missing a pause jump or failing a major strategy was a death sentence almost every single time. The difference between a 5.0x and another run sent straight to the graveyard could easily be the matter of a single pixel. Regardless, both of these runners were willing to do whatever was necessary to shatter this barrier, no matter how long it took them. Surprisingly, Red Ball 3's next record came the very next day. Well, it looked like Xbox was going to barely miss it yet again. His best possible time going into the boss was a 509.9, and the odds of him matching his gold here to clutch out the 5.0x were slim to none. With a less than perfect first few hits, it was unfortunately sealed away. 509.767. Xbox got the first sub 510 in the most clutch way possible. This frame-perfect pause jump strategy on the boss cost double damage to be dealt in a single blow, and Xbox had jokingly referred to it as the OX strat earlier in this attempt session. Little did he know that, just a few hours later, this small, risky time save would end up saving a 5.0x. To be put in this situation in the first place, the run couldn't have been perfect, and Xbox admitted that 6 seconds could likely be saved in the first 11 levels. However, the rest of the run was nearly perfect, and getting a sub 5 would absolutely require some new strategies to be found and implemented. Xbox stated that he was done with the game until, at the very least, someone beat his record, and Jaroio similarly put a hold on his Red Ball 3 attempts. The top of the leaderboard remained much the same until September, but then the other runner, who had just barely missed out on getting the record in June of 2021, started making his own run up the leaderboards. On September 17th, Cookie Eater claimed a PB of 513.767, assisted by a few new strategies. The first was this insane strategy in level 3, found by Starline, that requires a frame-perfect one-frame jump at the start and a frame-perfect pause jump on the slope. Similar to the bow trick in level 16, pausing and unpausing while in the air allows the half